a strange time we're living in. Bull can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior.
Oh my
Greed runs
God.
through parliament interiors.
Yo, what up? It's your boy LaCane. We here. We doing Ren. We hitting the money game. So you guys told me to do it. There's money game 1, 2, and 3. So we going money gram. I mean money gram. Money game 1. I done found the lyrics. So therefore I'm gonna go along with the lyrics as this song is going. So forgive me, my computer kind of acting up, but we gonna get into it. It's your boy LaCane. We face famous. I'm the judge. You're the jury. Let's see what he got. Money game. Let's go.
It's a strange time we're living in. Bull can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria.
That is true. I ain't gonna lie. Strange time we're living in. World could put fear in you. Yes. Yes. Wait, when did he make this? So I can know. 4 years ago? That's about right. What happened 4 years ago? Strange times we're living in. 4 years ago, we was under some duress back then. So we had a lot going on. So with that, there was a whole lot. So hey, let's run it back. Go.
Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns.
Oh shit. Okay. 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 Let's go. Where am I at?
Weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly.
So basically, hierarchy parties that make us greed runs through the parliament interior. So you may be talking about the government. So I'm assuming you're talking about the government. Plus, there's greed. Once there's greed, that money starts flowing through a lot of the a lot of them offices, judges, cops, senators, things like that. Once you have that going, oh, it's a wrap. That greed becomes real messed up. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. You never know who to trust and what people are around you. And with them fitting the criteria, because see, this type of song, I could break away how it makes me feel. But devils walk among us, they fit the criteria because of those hierarchy parties. Money is ruling the whole thing. Devil walk among us. So therefore you can't trust really anybody, not to mention the temptations that's going around that may try to have you do things that's really not in your best interest or your character. And it has you in the way, mess up your whole integrity. That's the thing. Then eerie theories strike fear in the reary. All right, you all these conspiracy theorists out there. Once again, a weak-minded person or a person you catch at the right time with the wrong information, you get all these theories and put in people's head where it normally happens. They mass hysteria, especially when we had the pandemic going on. All these theories was going on. I've seen so many people shook, scared, didn't know what was going on. They was going to live, they was going to die, and all that. So them theories happen. Then we got living in dictatorships. Think what we had to go on here in the United States. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? Nearly blinded by illusions to choose. Hey, vote for me. Vote for me. Vote for me. Oh, okay. Da da da. But who's fooling who? Sometimes a person can be fooling themselves and make you think they're fooling you. It's all crazy. It's all bad.
Stripe, fearing weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships, nearly blinded by illusions to choose. But who's fooling who? A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But
Wow. A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. Can't go nowhere, ball and chain. Almost like them old criminals in them prisons. They used to have the ball and chain so you couldn't run nowhere. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights the flames. Once you get that greed starts kicking in. The pursuit of your own wealth. Think about it. You trying to sit there, think how many toes you're going to step on, how many people you got to F over just to get where you want to get to because of wealth, money. Because nowadays, it's all about money. You could barely go grocery shopping. You could barely go buy stuff because if you don't have the right high paying job or anything like that, you are going to lose a lot of money, especially if you don't have it like that. Now, if you got it like that and you could, hey, you could shop to your heart's content, do whatever you need to do, but right now, hell no. Hell no. Because that flame is what they call it, a powder keg. Let that powder keg kick in. That makes greed a game. That lets the whole world burn. Need I say more? Let's go.
money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Wow. Let's go. Tell him. He's telling. I wonder who's the masked person.
A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves.
So basically, money was because it used to be if you had things to trade, you could be like, okay, I'm gonna give you this for that or this for that, and then on top of that, it comes out you need money. Once they invented money, then the whole world went to shit because you need the money. Obviously, if you don't have the money, then therefore you don't have nothing to trade. It doesn't work. Money was only used for currency for the trading, but then you had all these other countries creating their own currency to make the trade. That's how all that was. But now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, because then you become a slave to the money. You're not working for money. You are owned by the money. The money now owns you. You don't own the money. And that's where it happens because then you become a slave to it. It's like people who at work, they get addicted to overtime. People who do anything to get the money. People who do whatever they have to do to get money because you become slaves to it. It's the greed. It's like a drug. You got to have it. It's everything and it's not everything. It's some things, but not all things. So that's what he's saying in this song. Is some of the stuff, but it's not all of the stuff. It is whatever you make it to be. And then turns a saint to a sinner, a child to a killer, his finger on the trigger, money game. All of that, need I say more? It says it all right there. Let's go.
Turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
I mean, he got it right. So therefore, if you're talking about the money game, it's like he's telling you without saying that the one thing that's controlled everybody and what thing is controlling everybody is the money. Because you got to have it. And then the people who are innocent, or like he said, turn saints into sinners, child into killers, whatever they got to do to get it, they're going to get it. You're going to see some of the most innocent people turn vicious on you when you least expect it just because you got the money. Because they have to afford to live just as much as you do. Therefore, everybody has a right to live, and everybody has a right to do what they need to do to get money. They don't have a right to kill to get money. They don't have a right to just do whatever they need to do to get money. I feel them. I understand it. It makes sense. Turn on the news. Matter of fact, you ain't got to turn the news. Go on freaking YouTube, TikTok, wherever. You're going to see all kinds of videos of what dumb people did over some money. The dumb stuff people would do over some money. They just slap the shit out with that damn glove. Okay.
This old money gang. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate. When they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets, they say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech.
Boom. I like the way he did that. I like the way he sped up. Do it again. Do it again.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate. When
Dear Mr. President, evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support the ideas to keep us separate. Now, that's the thing. Everyone's a resident of the United States, of whatever country you're in. You're a resident. I'm going to assume he may be talking about the United States. I don't know. He might be. Of fear, because once again, the Senate, the House, all that could keep a person in fear. All they got to do is spit, as they say, the right propaganda. You're going to keep the right people in fear to do whatever they want. They become a resident of that. They're going to live in fear. It's what he's saying. And because if you're not living in fear, then he don't have the control. That's how he does it, no matter, hell, who the president is at these days. Long as you put a nice amount of fear and a big amount of perceived hope, therefore, they're going to be the resident of fear. Because they're going to keep them in fear just to look for the hope. That's what he's trying to say. And then when they support the ideas to keep us separate, then, okay, now you put in the other stuff. The rich need to be rich. The poor gets poor. Then you got the working middle class. Now it's almost rich or poor. But if you got the rich being rich, the poor being poor, you got the middle class who got to pick a side. They're either going to try to help the poor because they know what it's like to be there, or they're going to leave the poor behind. They're going to try to be rich because that's where they want to be. And then, when they make us believe that everybody's coming to terrorize you in the streets. Okay.
It's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate. When they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets, they say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech.
It's my right to hate. Now, once again, you could be a hater all you want. You could have the right to hate freedom of speech. Look at all the crazy and wild shit people say now. Look at all the crazy and wild stuff people say online. Look at the stuff people say on social media. Oh, it's freedom of speech. Yeah, but you don't have freedom of consequence. That's the problem. You have freedom of speech and not freedom of consequence. That's the part a lot of people don't realize. When you get punched in the mouth, then you're going to be realized, oh, I don't have the freedom of speech I thought I had. You did. Okay, you got punched right in the goddamn mouth. And that's what he's saying. But it's the president that do all that. Let's go. Play. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Terrorize you in the streets, they say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. and also colonised by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonise a
He said a whole lot in a quick amount of seconds. All right, let me back it up. I gotta back this up. Hold on. Let's go right here.
that's all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy.
Oh shit. Even further back. Let's go.
President of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorise you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate?
Well, I can answer that one. The reason freedom became a reason to hate is because, once again, you got a president who make it seem like you could just have all that freedom to make it seem like you just hate any damn body. That's when that happened. Because once he put that in that people's head, now you get some sick, crazy person sit there and be like, oh, well, it's my freedom to hate. Okay, I could become a hater all you want. But then a way to justify a racial slur or insult that we make, then they're going to say, oh, that's my freedom of speech, when really it's not. Your freedom of speech basically ends at a certain point. But again, yeah, you have freedom of speech, but not a freedom of consequence. But they want to justify that as using a racial slur. Now, if you notice, now all of a sudden, all these racial slurs is coming up from a lot of people. And what they don't realize is that when they get their ass kicked, then they're gonna realize they ain't gonna be saying as much as they thought, or they're gonna be sitting there trying to put people in jail because they're freaking stupid. Once again, money, greed, and whoever is the leader at that time is going to make it so people can say and do what they want. Social media. And look, here's the other thing. Check this out. Any child or hell, adult from anywhere on any of the Xbox, PlayStation, especially playing online, you're going to find all the most racist people in the world on that at any given moment, saying whatever they want, saying it's freedom of speech. And most of these people don't live in this country to begin with. Yet, they're going to be the main ones talking about they can say and do whatever the hell they want to do. Then the irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered like savages. Think about what happened when the well, say the Europeans came and the Native Americans was here, and then they just slaughtered basically the Native Americans, and then that's what happens. So nobody really can say, well, this is our country, this is your country. Every country was colonized by another country. Most people have settled and grew the country. Others have went to other countries and just took over and just wiped them out because they called them savages, indigenous people, brutes, and all this other stuff. Put them on display. Everybody was a slave, not just black people. Every race has been a slave some point in time in past history, and that's where the colonization begins. Then you get divided by the languages, because then everybody creates their own languages, governments, and democracies, and every which way and doctrines to control their own countries, to make sure they put their government in place, and what make you live in fear again. Look at Korea's. You live in fear. China live in fear. Japan live in fear. Brazil, Cuba. But the United States, we had the most freedoms, but then again, we had the most ignorant freedoms on top of that to even go with it. But colonize all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. There it is. Then preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Also, you need to be like this. You need to be like that. But at the same time, they ain't doing it because they're going to see what the next people they're going to take over. Who else they can strike fear? And what else we going to take over? What else we going to do? That's the other one. If your country was in flames, you'll immigrate yourselves in a second. Thank you. If your country was burning, all of a sudden you're going to leave to go to another country because yours is already on fire. Now you're an immigrant. They're saying you're going to leave. You'll immigrate yourself. You'll bounce. You'll start somewhere else and do it all over again. What else?
Speech! But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant.
Yes, because nobody's really from the same country they say they're from. When people say, well, get out my country, this ain't even your country. Your ancestral lineage came from somewhere else. The only people that we know who was already here were the Native Americans, which is the key word, native. Until Americano Vespucci came over, then you got the United States. Christopher Columbus missed his mark. I think he was going to Venezuela. Think that's where it was. But he ended up here in North America, and then they took over and found here the New World is what they called it. Let's go.
Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And North
See, I am a guy who give you the history lesson. He could do it now.
also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet
Yeah, we all know the big H word.
we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the
He's correct. He's correct on all of that. Let's go.
in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same.
Yep, especially after them towers went down, all them people who was Muslim got demonized. All of a sudden, these checkpoints at the airport, all of a sudden these, well, we got to sit here and, what do you call that? Random search. You know, I've been random search more than anything because one time we're like black and orange. It's a Reebok tracksuit. And I had some orange shoes to match and a backpack with my headphones and my tape cassettes. Back in the day, we had tape cassettes. And my tape cassettes. Man, they emptied my bag. I had that thing all nice and neat. Took a while to get that stuff in that bag. And I had to shove it all back in there because I almost missed my flight, pulling me over for some random search just because of what I wore. Just because of what it looked like. I wasn't looking like nothing but a dude matching in the outfit. There's no time I got randomly searched wearing all white. And that was a jogging suit. Randomly searched. Now I'm in dress clothes. Still randomly searched. It was the most racial profile thing I ever seen in my life. Next.
Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
What is he doing?
This whole money game. This old money game.
You know what that looked like. Oh, damn. We gotta lay old boy on fire. It's almost like he's saying I'm about to become that very evil I'm fighting against. So therefore I shouldn't be doing this. It's like them protesters who set themselves on fire. Yep, exactly. Protesting what? And I've seen that happen. There's some people who did this in the school one time. God dang it. No, they did at a college. They was protesting, and there was some protests where the people did set themselves on fire. I can't remember where that was, but there was people who did that. One thing I can say, he definitely has a message within his music. I give it to him. This was definitely something way different than what I thought it was going to be. So I'll give it. Ren always has a story to tell within a lot of his music, and that's one thing I could say. He's an artist, not a rapper, not a rhythm and blues person, not jazz, not folk, not bard, or they say bardcore. Not that he is just an artist who expresses a lot of his thoughts through his music. So I give him that. That was a deep. And once again, it all starts with money. Dictatorship, power, control, taking over another country, feeling you could do whatever you want because if you have the power, the money, you got the resources to do whatever you want to do, take over whatever land you try and take care of. And like he said, everybody was colonized by somebody. And like I said, everybody was a slave at some point. Every race was a slave. Slave trade, stocks, that's another form of it. There's people as currency, the value of people, the value of the devaluation of other people just to increase the value of your people to take over whatever land you're trying to take over and trying to be in, or city, colony, state. It don't matter. It's whatever it's going to be, and especially if it's a governmental control, those are the type of people that are going to try to basically F over everybody. 'Cause at the end of the day, all the governments are in it together to see who could get the most. It's a game at the end of the day to them. It's a money game for real. I give it to them. I like that. It's your boy LaCane, and we're face famous. You see it. Money game number 2 coming up soon.